right, we're on Tvul Yom, Perek Gimel Mishnah Dalet, fourth Mishnah in the third chapter of Masechet Tvul Yom. We're talking about when a Tvul Yom, remember, he's a sheni l'tumah, and if he touches something that's truma, he makes it pasul. But the Mishnah says, what if he doesn't touch actual truma, but something that was influenced by truma or that was affected by truma? It says in Mishnah, Isa, you have dough, shenidme'ah. Nidme'ah from miduma is the following. If you have like some regular amount of produce and truma gets mixed in, then in order to be batel truma midirabanan, midiraita is row, but we don't do diraita. Midirabanan, according to the rabbanan, it has to be a mixture of 101 to 1, more than 1/100th. So therefore, if it's less than 1/100th, it's called nidme'ah, and therefore it has this sort of pseudo status of truma. Only a kohen can eat it. So if I have this dough, or if I have produce, if I have like 60 oranges and one truma orange fell in, then you're stuck. Only a kohen can eat it. It's not asur because there's truma in it. You have to assume the whole thing is nidma. The whole thing is truma. So now we have dough shenidma'a. Okay, it became mixed in, o nitchamtza chametz, or it became leavened b'seor shel truma. Seor is a leavening agent. Kind of think of it like starter for sourdough. So you have seor shel truma, so you have the truma sourdough, or nidma was mixed with a small amount of dough of truma dough, and that's how they would do it. They would make their dough flour and water, and they would take already existing dough that has already begun to rise in order to get the whole dough to rise. So now the dough, it's got a tiny bit of truma, but it's got seor, it's got that starter, and that starter mixes in and affects the whole thing. Says the Mishnah in this case. If a Tvul Yom touches this, it's not pasul. Okay, Rabbi Yossi, according to the Tanakama, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon poslim. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon saying it is posel. Why? So it seems who's more logical, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon, because remember it became chametz, it became affected by the whole thing. So he says why? Why? The Bartuner says why? The batar isa azlinan, v'lo batar seor. We follow the dough. The dough is the majority. Meaning halachically now only a kohen can eat it, but for tuma and tara, nonetheless, for tuma and tara, it's still considered isa, and even though there's a mixture of truma inside of it, if it's Tvul Yom touches it, it's still not pasul. It's not pasul. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon disagree, which we can understand. So you made a dough, and remember we said that in order for something to be mekabel tuma, it has to get wet. So, but when you made it, when you ground the dough, latat chitim b'mayim. So you soak the grain, you soak the chitim, the wheat grains, in water in order to make them more amenable, more pliable for grinding before you grind. That's what they would do. So it's huchshara b'mashkeh. So it's mekabel tuma. But then v'nilosha b'mei peirot. Mei peirot is fruit juice. Fruit juice is not one of the 7 liquids that can make something mekabel tuma. So you need it. So originally the wheat was mekabel tuma, but then you needed it in mei peirot. Then we're talking about Tvul Yom, and the Tvul Yom touched it. Rabbi Eliezer, so it's like a little bit here, a little bit there. On the one hand, the wheat was originally huchshara with kabel tuma, but later on it was needed in mei peirot. Now, if you had just left it dry wheat and then made it mei peirot, that dough cannot become tameh. It's not muchshar lekabel tuma, which is probably a trick. I'm sure they did it all the time. But here, I'm not about Tvul Yom. The Tvul Yom touched it. Remember, his level of tuma is just lower. He's a sheni. Rabbi Lezer ben Yehuda, Ish bar tota omer mishum Rabbi Yoshua, pasalet kula. Rabbi Lezer ben Yehuda, a man of bar tuta, said named Rabbi Yoshua, sorry, the whole thing is pasul. Why? What are you going to do? It was huchshara b'mashkeh. It's muchshar lekabel tuma. Okay, and mei peirot osina isa chibur. Right, even though the mei peirot are not machshir lekabel tuma, it's mechubar. It's all one thing. Rabbi Kiva says, Rabbi Kiva Mishmo, he also says the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Ish bar tuta. Lo pasal ela makom mago. Only the place that you touched. Why? Because Rabbi Kiva holds the kevan mei peirot ein machshirin. So mei peirot are not machshir lekabel tuma. V'lo maiti lulu dekuma. The mei peirot and the fruit juice can't make it tameh. So you look at it as if there's no fruit juice there. You have a dough. So, but if a dough without fruit juice, what would it be? Just flour. V'lo pasal ela makom magao. And therefore, the only thing that's pasul is where you touch with the flour. Really interesting, unusual psak. We'll stop here. Dedicate our learning. Remember, my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Make it a great day.